mengucapkan Selamat Natal dan Tahun Baru.
Tonight, the weirdness begins with the bizarre case of the silent twins. Also, from mummies to movie stars, curses from the grave. If you don't believe in sea monsters, beware the Bermuda blob and documented reports of spontaneous human combustion. Ladies and gentlemen, your host for Extremely Weird, J. Thomas.
Good evening, and welcome to the Museum of the Extremely Weird. Now, this is our collection of all those things that make you wonder, is it me or has the rest of the world gone completely crazy? Think of it as a gold mine of everything odd, strange, or downright bizarre. All those things that we look at and still can't believe what we're seeing. I'll be your guide tonight as we explore the outer limits of weird. But just look around. Weird is everywhere. Now, we have found weird sea monsters at the bottom of the ocean, weird curses from mummies buried in the sand. And if you don't think twins are weird, stick around. We've got twins who've had some of the best shrinks in the world thinking they're seeing double because they are, and you will be too. Now, let's just go.
The silent twins, English, refused to speak to anyone but themselves, invented their own language, moved in perfect sync. One stubs her toe, the other hurts. One hears a joke, the other laughs. Now that's weird. Also Bermuda. Nice, typical day, until a giant sea monster, better known as the Bermuda blob, washes up in some guy's backyard. You want weird? We got weird.
Phew. You know, every year, there are numerous reports of people who just all of a sudden catch fire. Now, this is about as weird as it gets. Now, the idea here is, and it can happen to you, someone simply burst into flames. There's no warning, no smoke alarm, and seemingly no reason at all. Now, this can be a real problem. I mean, your friends are going to stop asking.
Spontaneous human combustion. A frequently reported, albeit extremely weird phenomenon. On the outskirts of Vienna, a minister preaching fire and brimstone was said to have exploded into flames, witnessed by a stunned congregation of 60. Also England, 1938. A new bride is dancing with her husband when, before you could say, got a match, she was one. And more recently, much closer to home, it happened to a nice little old lady in Florida, St. Petersburg.
Oh, gosh. Think about all that blue hair going up in flames.
Coroner's report, July 3rd, 1951. Examination of human remains. Victim, Mary Reeser, 67-year-old Caucasian female. Live weight, approximately 170 pounds. Remains recovered from a local boarding house. Victim resided alone in upstairs room. Victim last seen alive at 9 p.m. Sitting in upholstered chair, smoking cigarette. Observation made by Mrs. Pansy Carpenter, landlady. Mrs. Carpenter heard nothing unusual from Mary Reeser's room that evening. All three witnesses, though shaken, agree on condition of the remains, which they left undisturbed. They called police. The victim's skull evidences incredible shrinkage consistent with high heat, such as that occurring in a crematorium, approximately 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. An adult human skull reduced to a width of less than 4 inches. Conflicting clues include the left foot, charred but intact. An electric clock in the victim's room stopped, setting time of fire between 4 and 4:30 a.m. To disparity between damage to victim's body and articles in the room are remarkable. Although candles on dresser were barely melted, remaining vertebrae are fused together. The heat had also apparently shorted out the electricity. How could heat be intense enough to consume a body and crack a mirror, and yet not burn or even scorch any of the furniture other than the victim's chair? Police, medical examiners, and insurance investigators could not verify Mary's cigarette as a source of the blaze, could not explain how any material in the fire could generate temperatures approaching 2,000 degrees, and could not understand how temperatures that high had not destroyed the entire contents of the room. The investigators were baffled by the conflicting evidence. The entire remains of Mary Reeser, left foot, skull, vertebrae, and ash, weighed 10 pounds. The official conclusion, Mary Reeser died as a result of fire, of origin unknown.
Beneath this red granite tombstone lies the remains of Mary Hardy Reeser, who died in 1951 by spontaneous human combustion. How do we know this? Because that's what the evidence says. We became interested in spontaneous human combustion because it seemed to be a phenomenon for which there's a great deal of documentation, and yet mainstream science and the medical community in particular denied its existence. So we did some homework. We went to libraries, we went to the medical colleges, and began looking through page after page of medical references, and what we found were cases of what could best be described as spontaneous human combustion, the ability of the body to burn itself without having come in contact with an external source of fire or flame. And that's where SHC becomes extremely weird. Now, one extreme of spontaneous human combustion are those who survive. People who have actually lived to tell the incredible tale of watching parts of their body erupt into flame or smoke. The case of Jack Angel is significant because we believe he is one of the few individuals who have experienced spontaneous human combustion and lived to tell the incredible tale. Jack Angel's remarkable story begins on a Monday evening, November 11, 1974, at a parking lot in Savannah, Georgia. He had a room reserved for that night, but when he got there late and discovered that the room had been sold to someone else, he went back to the motorhome, fixed a bed, and laid down to go to sleep, expecting to wake up the following morning to meet with a clothing buyer. From that point on, Jack's life became a true-life, never-ending nightmare. First, he did not wake up the following morning. He awakened 4 days later, midday Friday, to discover, among other things, that his right hand had been burned black, burned to a crisp from the inside out. He also had burn wounds on his right chest, on his groin, on the nape of his neck. He also discovered that some discs in his spinal column had fused. All they could say was that these burns appeared to have been caused by a high-energy electrical type source, and that they had occurred from the inside of the body. They could find no evidence whatsoever of any malfunction in Jack's motorhome. Nothing else in the motorhome burned. The pajamas that Jack was wearing, the sheets on which he slept for those 4 days, exhibited no damage by fire whatsoever. The only thing that we can explain and offer to Jack was that he was not only a victim of, but one of the very few individuals in history who have survived self-immolation, the burning of one's body from the inside out. We have a number of theories. In some instances, the body may literally become a miniature Hiroshima, and it explodes from the inside out at the subatomic level. Jack concluded himself that that was his fate, to have met self-combustion and to have survived.
Seruan syukur terus menggema. Ramadan yang suci kembali tiba, menuntun umat menegakkan syiar. Ramadan, bulan penyegar iman. Bersama SCTV, kita petik hikmah bersama Jainuddin MZ. Kita gali amalan mulia dalam dakwah puasa. Saksikan kehadirannya setiap hari di SCTV.
Assalamualaikum pemirsa, saya Vini Alfianita dan juga juga rekan saya,
Krisna Mukti.
bersama kami akan menemani santap sahur Anda lewat acara Meniti Kalbu Menggapai Iman.
Sebuah acara yang mengetengahkan perjalanan rohani dan pengalaman religi para public figure.
Maka catat waktunya,
Setiap hari mulai pukul 3.17 hingga pukul 3.47 selama bulan Ramadan.
hanya di SCTV Ngetop. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Menjaga kesegaran mulut bersama Listerine. Menjaga kesegaran mulut penting artinya bagi kita yang harus selalu aktif dan bertemu banyak orang. Kuncinya adalah menjaga kebersihan rongga mulut. Sikatlah gigi sehabis makan. Setelah menyikat gigi, gunakan mouthwash untuk membasmi kuman yang tak hilang hanya dengan menyikat gigi saja. Karena mouthwash mampu menjangkau sela-sela gigi dan jauh ke tenggorokan. Gunakan mouthwash yang terbukti efektif melawan kuman penyebab napas tak sedap. Hasilnya, napas segar dan percaya diri. Mudahnya menjaga kesegaran mulut bersama Listerine.
Tahun boleh ganti, biangnya tetap ekstra jos. Sekali ekstra jos, tetap ekstra jos.
Ekstra Jos.
Segenap karyawan, staf, dan direksi New Era mengucapkan
Selamat Hari Natal dan Tahun Baru bersama New Era menuju era baru.
New Era, pencipta model masa kini.